Hello everyone, this is Orlando from A Collector's Dream. And last night I was on a live stream, and it was Theo Clemente Collector that had his 1,000 subscriber contest and live stream, and it was a great time with everybody there. And if you didn't get a chance to see it, go back and take a look at it, and I'll see if I can put a link below, but go ahead and take a look at it. We had an awesome time. And one of the best things was, even after we finished the live stream, we probably talked for, I don't know, maybe almost another hour. It seemed like another hour that we talked. And we were just talking about some of the cards that we collect. And it was just kind of fun because we got into talking about, Greg started, showing some of his cards that he picked up, a Sherlock Holmes card. And then we got into the pirate cards. And we talked about the 1800s, and I showed a Goodwin Champion card there, and talked a little bit about it. And I just kind of wanted to share some of the cards from the Goodwin Champions set, just some random cards, because they're so beautiful. And I thought I'd go ahead and talk a little bit about that today, and just kind of share with you the book and what that book, this Hager's book, says about the Goodwin Champions. We didn't get into that, the 1800s, but this is what it says. It says that the Goodwin Champions, they were issued in 1888 by Goodwin and Company of New York, and they were inserted into packs of Old Judge and Gypsy Queen cigarettes. The Champion set includes billiard players, cyclists, marksmen, runners, pugilists, boxers, wrestlers, football player, weightlifters, and Buffalo Bill Cody. The football card was the first ever issued. There are 8 baseball players, 4 are Hall of Famers in the 50 card set. This is one of the most beautiful and rarest 19th century sets issued. The front of the cards feature color lithos of the players with their names, positions, and teams on the upper portion of the card. Pasted on brittle cardboard back at the bottom is an advertisement in script for Old Judge and Gypsy Queen cigarettes. They were inserted in a brown border at the bottom, and the reverse features a checklist. At the top of the back of the checklist, the word Champions, followed by a checklist of the 50 players. At the bottom is the name Goodwin and Company, New York. The cards are printed on thick string mulch paper board stock, and many are found to be trimmed. So again, these were hand cut and stuff like that. So that's a little bit about them. I am going to show you some of the cards, but I want to kind of give you an idea of, this is the 50 cards in the set. And you can see there's 50 cards. The size of the set is 1.5 by 2 5/8, which is just a standard tobacco card size. And then again, the big cards in the set are the Cap Anson, Dan Brothers, Tim Keefe, and the King Kelly. Those are the 4 baseball Hall of Famers. Then it has the Beecher card, and again, it has all the players for baseball, cyclists, billiards, broadswordmen, chess players. Then it has the high jumpers. It's got the jockeys and the tennis players, oarsmen, pedestrians, pugilists, the boxers, and then Buffalo Bill. So you can see the big cards there are going to be the Cap Anson, the King Kelly, the baseball guys, Dan Brothers and Tim Keefe, and the Beecher card, along with the Buffalo Bill and the John L. Sullivan, which is the top boxer at the time. It says, again, one of the most beautiful and rarest 19th century sets, and you could collect either the baseball cards or the whole list. So and he's handled 25 of these in the last 5 years. So anyway, that's the book. That's what it says about the set. Let's take a look at some of the cards. So first, here's the checklist. And the cool thing about this particular card, and this is one of the guys, I'll show you this guy again, but I kept this card even though you see it's got like paper loss. That was graded a 5 mark, which is overgraded in my opinion. But anyway, there's some paper loss in the front there. And the reason is because someone was, checking off the cards, and you could see that it's a checklist. Somebody, whoever owned this in 1888, literally tried to build the set and used the back of this particular card as a checklist. And you can see how they checked it off in pencil. They checked off the list. That's why it's marked. But that is just a cool thing that I thought that, for me, it shows that back in those days, in the 1800s, people collected the cards and tried to build a set, tried to put the set together. So let's take a look at some of the cards in the set. And first I'll show this Isaac Murphy, because it's really one of the most underrated, cards that really nobody really knows much about. And he was the greatest jockey, not just of his day, but of today. They still give the Isaac Murphy Award. But the thing about these cards is it's just the beauty of these cards and the printing of it, the way that it was, that they were done. It was just really, for the 1800s, the quality, it's really tough to see. I should probably take off all this plastic, but I'm just going to show them like this for now. It takes too long to do that. But you have to look at these cards in person to really appreciate the beauty of these cards. Here's another one. This is the Oro, and this is one of the pool players, and he is a Cuban player, and he's a Cuban player, Cuban born pool player, and he was the champion back in those days. And again, all these cards have the same back with just the checklist. But you could see the artwork on these, and to put these, to do this, I mean, these cards, look at the balls here, how they had to put in the colors back in those days of those balls like that. Just some incredible artwork that was done back, and these were all hand done, hand printed. So that's why the book calls it one of the most beautiful sets. Here's one of the boxers here, and that's Mitchell. And you can see that's the, and this one, this is the one that I'm taking to the National. This is the one that's actually has that stain in the back that has been cleaned, but you see that came back. So that glue stain is very visible, and that should not be graded to 6. So this is the one I'm taking to the National PSA and see what I can do with that. But I want to take a look at some of the other ones here. Here's Taylor. He's one of the tennis players. Again, these were the best players of the day. And, if you look at the details of that, just how they had to type in the lawn tennis. This is all done by hand. They didn't type it in. Well, they did type it in, but the way that it was done, and the ribbon and the hat and the uniform, and, there's Taylor, and, just the artwork on these cards are just beautiful. The background, it's like a portrait, like a drawing, It is a drawing, but I mean, just the way that they do it, it's just like it's a work of art. They're a work of art, I'm telling you. Here's one of the cyclists. This is Wood. And you can see, just the portrait with the bright yellow background, with the old bicycle that they rode, that big wheel bike, back in the 1800s, and this is kind of like a Mookie card because he's got like pinholes. Look at that, they have a pin thing. How they just did that, it's just really neat. Looks like they pinned a background on the big wheel of the bike. You see that? Look at the spokes. And then they have him like posing there with that background. Just cool cards, really neat artwork that you just don't see, you know, in cards nowadays, you know, just the details of it. Here's a pedestrian, and this is kind of like they're almost like marathoners. They would walk and walk for days. The competition was for days, and this is Pat Fitzgerald. But, you know, you take a look at the artwork on these cards, and it's just incredible how they have the birds flying back there. You know, here he is, Pat Fitzgerald, pedestrian. You can see the back there, you got the ship back there. I mean, just the artwork on those. And you got to look at them in person. You could see just the colors almost like overlaid one on top of the other. If you look at it at an angle, you could just see the brightness of those cards, how they look. I mean, they're just, you know, the details on these are just beautiful, you know. And in person, you could, it's just a lot better in person. Here is the same high jumper that I showed here. And here it is in a, this is a good 2. And why is it a good 2? Because it has also it's got a little paper loss, but it's got that, this one was put in a book with glue, but was just come out with just water, or just came right out, versus the other one that was with chemical and it wasn't shown. So, you know, here, and that was a 6, but really it should be a 2, like this one. And this one is, the only reason it's a 2 is because of the back, because the front of this looks like a 9. And let me tell you, there are no 9s in this entire set. The highest, you know, there's just no 9s, you know, there's 8s, but there's no 9s graded in this set, because first, it's from 1888. They're pretty rare. And second, because it's just, you know, just very difficult because of the printing and stuff. That does get, some of them do chip, and these were inserted in packs of cigarettes. And this one was in an album for so many years that it just retained all of the beautiful colors that it had. This is the high jumper, and you could see that he's going to jump. Here's the wire. It's on the ground there, that stuff, but he's going to jump that. There's the wire right there, back there, you see it? And it's the stick tied on here, and this is where he's going to run. He's going to jump over that. So this is the high jumper. It's W. Bird Page. And that's the uniform that they used and the shoes that they used to jump. He's one of the high jumpers. You can see the details on it, and the background with the trees, and even his legs. I mean, just the detail on this. But if you look in person, I'm telling you, it's a lot. They're so beautiful and bright that it's just an incredible cards. And that's why I fell in love with this set many years ago. This is another one of the boxers. This is Jem Smith. And this one's a little rough on the front, but you can take a look there and see what that looks like. The boxer with the ring in the background. And this is one of the tougher cards to find. There are some cards that there's less than 10 graded, and they're real tough to find. This is one I've been looking to upgrade for a while. So this is the Jem Smith boxer. Then we're going to move on to one of the billiards, and this is Sexton. Now, billiards is different than the pool. The pool that I showed you, the Oro, that has pockets. So you put the ball in the pocket. The billiard players, and the Oro did play billiards along with Sexton and stuff, but Sexton was more of a billiard player. And the difference between billiards is that they didn't have holes, and you can see it, they have different, it's a different game, but it is played on the pool. But look at how they're dressed. You know, it's a portrait of Sexton with his, you know, overcoat, and this, you know, back in the 1800s, how fancy they were dressed, and the pool table, the billiard table, how, you know, how it was designed. It's just, they're just beautiful cards. And I'll show one more here because it's already 15 minutes here. And this is one of the jockeys. This is McLaughlin jockey, and this is again from the Goodwin Champions. And you can see here just the beautiful image of, you know, this jockey in his complete gear, and the eagle in the background here, and you can see another horse, another jockey just kind of training there. And this is the track that they run on. You see the track in the background, just the sky. I mean, the artwork on these cards is just incredible, and thinking something that was produced in the 1800s. I mean, take a look at the colors and just the artwork on that. And in person, the colors just like come out, because the way it was printed, it was one on top of the other, so it's almost like a 3D type effect. But a lot of the cards from these days were just done with so much care and precision, like the Pirates cards that Craig showed. So I wanted to share some of these Goodwin cards with you guys. You can get a good feel for the set and see, you know, just kind of what they look like. And I'm going to go ahead and probably do a whole video on these guys. Maybe I'll just go back and re-show that. I've shown my entire set of 50 cards. I've just shown you 10 of them, but I've shown the whole set in other videos. So you can go back and take a look at those, or eventually I'm going to go ahead and just do a whole video of my top set. These are basically duplicates, and the higher graded ones, I have them in the safe deposit box. But I'm going to pull those out, and I'm going to share with you guys my Goodwin Champion set in the future. So in the meantime, thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Go back and check out that live stream that we did last night with Theo and just a bunch of guys out there, just 10 of us just talking. So it was fun. Thanks for watching, guys. It's Orlando from A Collector's Dream. Have an awesome day, and I'll catch you on the next one.